Welcome, everyone. Okay, let's dive into this. Today, we've got a fascinating explainer covering a strange and honestly kind of maddening truth about human behavior. We're unpacking the psychology of absence and value. Basically, we're looking at why human nature reacts so much more intensely to absence than to presence. So if you're a focused learner looking to really understand relationship dynamics and figure out why people act the way they do, well, you're in exactly the right place. Have you ever found yourself explaining yourself endlessly, only to just be totally ignored? I mean, it's so frustrating, right? You sit down, you pour your heart out, you explain your feelings, your needs, your boundaries. You do it over and over for months, maybe even years, and despite all that clear communication, absolutely nothing changes. It is exhausting. Section 1. The frustration of being ignored. It's this bizarre paradox. You can explain yourself until you're blue in the face, and people will happily ignore your words for years. But the absolute second you become silent, distant, or show you're actually ready to walk away, man, their behavior changes completely. It's like a switch flips. Suddenly they hear everything you never even had to say. Wild, right? Section 2. Psychology of loss aversion. Let's look at exactly why pulling away actually works. It comes down to this foundational psychological principle: loss aversion. Basically, the human brain is literally wired to react much more strongly to a potential loss than it is to gaining something. And this completely anchors your frustration in science. You're not doing anything wrong here. You're just dealing with a universal human flaw where losing access to someone triggers this immediate, powerful neurological response that just keeping them simply doesn't. And that brings us to a rather sad reality: appreciation through attention versus appreciation through panic. Because of loss aversion, people will often fight way harder to avoid losing someone than they ever did to just appreciate them in the first place. Think about that for a second. So many relationships could have been saved with just simple, steady attention. But instead, human nature defaults to waiting for the fear of loss, relying on outright panic to finally pay attention. Section 3. Familiarity massively reduces urgency. Now, what's really interesting about the slide is how it illustrates that familiarity breeds complacency. It's absolutely crucial to understand that this isn't just about romantic partners. Oh no, this pattern exists literally everywhere. Friendships, relationships, workplaces, family dynamics, you name it. Across all spheres of life, we humans universally underestimate the things we assume will always be available to us. Because familiarity reduces urgency, it creates this vicious cycle of ignoring. Look at how this plays out in real life. Step 1. People ignore messages until they realize you're losing interest. Step 2. They ignore opportunities until those doors are slammed firmly shut. Step 3. They ignore sound advice until the negative consequences literally arrive at their doorstep. And step 4. They ignore people until those people simply stop caring. We lack urgency, so we just wait until the very last possible moment, when loss is imminent, to finally wake up. Section 4. Boundaries create real value. Consider this incredibly powerful truth. Your value didn't increase when you left. Your value was always there. This is so empowering. Walking away didn't magically manufacture your worth out of thin air. It simply forced others to finally become aware of the worth that already existed. Why? Because for the first time, they actually risked losing access to it. So, the crucial point is this: constantly proving yourself, chasing, being endlessly available, it almost never works. Why? Because people simply don't respect endless availability. What they do respect, though, are clear boundaries. Boundaries create awareness, and that awareness is exactly what creates the perception of true value. Now, let's be clear, setting boundaries doesn't mean you're playing games with people, not at all. It just means you're adopting a specific mindset. You're recognizing that your time, your energy, and your attention are highly valuable, finite resources, and you own them. And this brilliantly illustrates the harsh reality of how we handle what we own. Resources lose value when given away without limits. It's basically just economics applied to human behavior. If you're endlessly giving away your time, energy, and attention, the perceived value of what you offer just plummets. Honestly, endless giving destroys perceived value. Section 5. The power of self-respect. When you compare explaining with words versus communicating with silence, one of the strongest realizations you can have is that not every single battle requires a verbal explanation. Some people simply only understand actions. They don't hear words. In those cases, your silence and your absence can communicate way more than 1,000 conversations ever could. True self-respect, it completely changes your life. It makes you stop begging for understanding from people who fundamentally refuse to listen. You become deeply confident without needing to convince anyone else of your worth. And when your confidence no longer depends on chasing validation, you become harder to manipulate, harder to ignore, and fundamentally harder to take for granted. You literally become impossible to ignore. Which brings us to a final, undeniable truth. People who value themselves teach the world to value them too. The reality is, life is going to repeatedly teach you this lesson in various painful ways until you finally step up and take charge of your own worth. You set the standard. So, I want to leave you with a provocative question to think about today. Will you protect your value right now, or will you wait for the world to teach you the hard way? The choice is totally yours. Stop endlessly explaining, start respecting your resources, and let your boundaries do the talking. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll catch you next time.